Okay, I get it all unzipped and it's on view. You ready, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Please sign in the desk back there if you haven't already.
We're going to start with the reading of the preamble.
Good morning, my name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this November 27th, 2023. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law in section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Thank you, Madam Chair. Back to you.
Thank you. If you'd like to call the roll, please.
Sure. Ms. Roca?
Present.
Ms. Holzer?
Present.
Ms. Wilson?
Present.
Ms. Brown? Absent. And Ms. Bates.
I am here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 4 members. So we should state for the record to the appellants that in this case, you risk a tie vote. If there is a tie vote, then the variance request fails and the decision of building and housing remains. So at this time, if the appellants would like to request a postponement to a date when we have 5 members, you may at this time.
Do we have anyone online or in person requesting a postponement? All right. No. Do
Madam
we have-
Chair, we did receive one postponement request this morning, calendar number 23-189.
Okay,
That's 18615 St. Clair Avenue. Art construction owner proposes to establish use of an assembly hall. The appellants are requesting the postponement at this time because the councilman wanted to be present, but he is under the weather this morning, not feeling well.
oh, okay.
We can give them the first hearing in January, which is January 8th.
Okay, so calendar number 23-189 is postponed to January 8th at the request of the appellant, since the councilman is unable to attend today. Do we have any other council people, Maurice?
Yes, we do. Councilwoman Moore, Rebecca Moore is
Okay.
online, so
excellent.
that would be 3800 Valley Avenue.
Great. That was it for postponements and any other.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right, Ms. Holzer, if you would like to read for us this morning. We have Councilwoman Moore with us, so we're going to begin with calendar number 23-167.
Sure thing. Thanks, everybody. Good morning. Our first case is calendar number 23-167. This is at 3800 Valley Avenue. PB Express proposes to erect a new office and service building and establish use as a shipping container transfer and storage yard. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 3. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
If Ms. Roca feels comfortable, otherwise Ms. Wilson, I think, would do it.
It's up to you, Madam Chair.
What
I can do
would
it.
you like to do, Ms. Wilson? Would you like to do the oath?
Either one is fine.
Okay, Ms. Wilson will do the oath.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right, I will swear in all who are present for this case. Is there anyone in person present for this case? Okay, anyone online present for this case?
Yes, Jeff Foster, Beta Architects.
Okay.
James Yoon with PB Express.
Art Lindrose with the Bolton Pratt Construction Company.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. I am going to swear you all in. Do you all swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand, reply with I do, your name and your address.
I do. 271 Alpha Park, Highland Heights.
I do, Jeff Foster, 1220 West 6th Street.
I do.
Okay.
James Yoon, 3800 Valley Road.
James, can you spell your last name for me, please?
Yes, Y-U-N.
Okay.
And also, I do Councilwoman Rebecca Moore, 601 Lakeside.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
Also, I do Charles Kennick, Old Brooklyn CDC 4274 Pearl Road.
Okay, and there was the first person who swore in, I don't recall hearing your name.
Art Lindrose.
Okay,
Because of screen,
perfect. Can I have you spell your last name for the record, please?
Lindrose.
Great.
Perfect, thank you so much. Is there anyone else who wishes to swear in for this matter? All right, back to you, Madam Chair.
Great, thank you. Thanks for your names, everyone. We do have a court reporter. She's not present in the room, so we always like to make sure that we have accurate information for you for her. We'll start with the history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1957, a permit was issued to establish use as, to erect a truck terminal building. And then in 1962, a permit was issued to erect a truck dock on site. We did find in our more recent history that in 2013, a permit was issued to board up a property on site. It is identified as a residential structure. Also in 2013, a permit was issued the violation notice issued to, in response to a collapsed roof complaint. And then in 2013, a permit was issued to correct the violations on the property. And that's all that I have. Also, there are no variances on file. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have someone from legal?
I believe she's online.
Okay, great. If you'd like to read the legal standard for us, please.
Okay, Madam Chair, members of the board. Oh, it's a long one. Appellant is requesting a use variance and area variances from the minimum setback, drainage, and surface material requirements of the zoning code. And appellant must comply with chapter 351 of the zoning code. Oh, sorry, I can't, which regulates uses and developments within riparian and wetland areas. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant proved that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same appellant of substantial variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the code. Note the setback variance cannot be granted unless the buildings are set back of 17 feet under chapter 351. In determining whether there is unnecessary hardship or practical difficulty to justify the granting of the variance, the board shall consider the potential harm or reduction in the functions of the riparian area or wetland area that may be caused by a proposed structure or use. Further, in making a variance determination, the board shall consider the following. Sorry, I have to keep making it larger.
Mary, you're breaking up a little bit on us.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, so we're missing bits of this.
Sorry. Is it any better?
That sounds a little bit better. Why don't you proceed and we'll see if it's cleared up.
Okay, I'm trying to make it bigger on my screen.
Of course, it is on the screen, so anybody can read it.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, if it's all right with Mary, I'd be glad to continue to.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah,
Since she's
thank
having-
you.
Right. We're gonna let Liz pick up where you left off, Mary, since we're having since you're breaking up a little bit.
Thank you.
Under chapter 351, in determining whether there is an unnecessary hardship or practical difficulty to justify the granting of the variance, the board shall consider the potential harm to or reduction in functions of riparian area or wetland area that may be caused by a proposed structure or use. Further, in making a variance determination, the board shall consider the following. Number one, varying the front, rear, and side yard setback before the riparian and wetland setbacks are varied. Number two, variances should not be granted for asphalt or concrete paving in the riparian and wetland setbacks in any situation where gravel or porous pavement will do the job. This is there.
That's it.
And that is the end of the legal standard.
Oh, okay, we got to it. Excellent. All right, the first postponement on this case was made at the request of the councilwoman to allow time for further review. So has the appellant met with the councilwoman or had communication with her at this point?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in because this is the councilwoman, because
Yeah.
that was my request for the delay. I really do want to applaud the appellants in this case in making sure that we all got together with city planning, Cuyahoga Water and Soil Conservation District,
Okay.
and really talked through what is going on here, because as the board might be aware, this riparian setback regulation has not been widely implemented, or not hasn't been invoked before BZA to our knowledge. And so we really wanted to make sure that we had done this correctly, all gotten on the same page. And so I both thank PB Express for their patience in making sure that we could set that up and just getting everybody on the same page. So we had a very fruitful meeting, coordinated with Old Brooklyn, and again, city planning, myself, Cuyahoga Water Soil Conservation District. and really reached a shared agreement that this is a great project that we do not think will at all frustrate the goals of the riparian setback regulation. They agreed to a couple of changes, specifically marking this riparian setback accurately on the map and not putting stationary parking in this small section of the parcel to the north of Big Creek. And with that shared understanding, as well as the sort of poor condition of the wetland area itself, we all got on the same page that this really was the right thing for both Big Creek and for Cleveland. So I'm very happy to be here today in strong support of this project.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman. Typically, the council people like to wait till last. So, but I appreciate you jumping in and giving us an overview of what's happened and your support of the project thus far. So, is the drawing then that we have on the screen in front of us the most updated and current drawing then?
This is Jeff Foster. No, it is not, but it is for the point of discussion. It will serve for today. What we have done, we have our civil engineer and well, there you go. Use that one right there. That is, if you zoom in on that one, the yellow line is the 120-foot riparian setback. And then you see another squiggly line just above that. That is the 100-year floodplain. So those are two things that our engineering team have confirmed with survey data to accurately represent those on a map.
Okay, great. So we have that. So that is the most current. So the previous drawing, Maurice, is that does this one supersede that? Is it the same?
That's what
area?
they're saying.
Okay, all right. Okay, we just want to make sure we don't have to make a condition on things that you have to submit another drawing. So if this is the most, who's going to be the spokesperson for the project team then?
Yeah, this is Jeff Foster from Pato Architects.
Okay, if you just want to run us through, Mr. Foster, what the project entails and the scope of what's going on.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate the time today. As Councilman Maurer had mentioned, we had a meeting several weeks ago where we brought all the stakeholders, both from the neighborhood and from city council, from city planning, from soil and water. We had a large group discussion, which I think was very fruitful. But the project at 3800 Valley Road is a staging facility for shipping containers. So what PB Express does is they are we'll call them an intermodal transportation broker for shipping containers. So shipping containers come in on trucks, they stay for a relatively short period of time, and then they move out to their final destination. PB Express has been working at West 14th Street or West 11th, just north of Big Creek here, for I believe about 25 years. And they are losing their lease on that parcel of property and have purchased this, which, as you said from the history, has always been a trucking depot. So we're looking to continue that with a similar use. In terms of construction, we are building a 5,500 square foot headquarters building that'll be about half office, half service facility. And you can see from this plan that the building is located up along Valley Road. There's a 17-foot setback, and our building is just behind that 17-foot setback. So what we're talking about today in terms of a variance has to do with the use of parking shipping containers within that 120-foot riparian setback. We're not building any other structures. The pavement will remain as gravel as it has always been. And we have fencing that will traverse around the perimeter of the site. So one point that Councilman Maurer had pointed out, there is another small parcel of property to the north of Big Creek that PB Express does own as well. We have no intention of parking anything on there. There's an existing bridge that connects to that. Our intention with that parcel of property is just to fence it off to keep the homeless traffic from coming to and from and traversing through the site, and to keep the site secure. So in terms of grading, in terms of site modifications, we are not making any significant changes to the grading of the site. So in terms of the creek bank along Big Creek and the tree line that's there, that all stays intact. And the majority of our site work has to do with a proposed storm water quality basin, which you see on the left-hand side of your plan, which is located outside of the Big Creek proper. So I believe that sort of gives you the overview of what we're planning to do. So I'll open it up to discussion.
Okay, does anyone else from the project team wish to make a statement? Okay, and Charles from the CDC, do you wish to make a comment?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, for the time. I think definitely just gonna echo what Councilwoman Moore had to say. We had a really great and productive meeting on a long-awaited discussion that everyone kind of got on the same page for this project. So I think it was really productive and helpful to hear and go back and forth kind of in person with the project team, with the Soil and Water District for issues, confusions, all that type of stuff. So definitely from the CDC's perspective, definitely happy to have a good plan in place to reactivate this property in the neighborhood to hopefully, bring some more jobs and economic activity to the neighborhood. So we too are in full support of the project.
Great. And I think I heard you say that you had community input as well for the project?
Yeah, we've through the design review process and kind of through the meetings that we've had, we've gotten the input of the community on the project as well.
Okay, great. All right. I'll open it up to questions or comments from the board. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
We hear from city planning.
Did you have a comment, sir?
So Maurice Rollins from City Planning. Let me just see. I don't believe the neighborhood planner is on here. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to mention. Actually, number one, for the 17-foot specific setback is not needed. We don't need that variance because, as the applicant just stated, they put their building 17 foot back from the right of way. So they're in compliance with number one. Number two, after they have satisfied that, they've supplied the plans with the riparian setback on the plan. So really, you don't need number one or number two
Okay, great.
any longer for this project. So then we're just down to number three. And yes, we did meet with everybody from the project as well as the councilwoman, and we also had Jared Bartley, who is the Deputy Director for the Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District, advising the Planning Commission on this project. And we do agree that establishing this transfer facility will not have a major impact on the riparian wetland setback. And of course, as you can see in the drawing, the construction is outside of the setback area, so that's not an issue whatsoever. The only thing I wanted to mention was Jared, Mr. Bartley pointed out that he couldn't be here today, that the ordinance suggests that if on-site mitigation is not feasible, then to perform a mitigation action upstream of the site in the same watershed. He recommends that the developer work with the Big Creek Connects to identify a riparian property where it is possible to reforest an area equivalent to the area of the setback that will be impacted. And they can help, they would be able to help facilitate this process with Big Creek Connects as well.
Okay.
So that was the recommendation from the Cuyahoga Soil and Water Conservation District.
So to the appellant, the councilwoman, the CDC, you were probably in on that conversation with Mr. Bartley with regard to what Mr. Rollins just mentioned?
Actually, this was new information.
Oh, it's new information.
Morning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was part of the bigger conversation that we had, though we did generally discuss sort of remediation efforts, but I'll leave that to PB Express to comment on that request from Jared Bartley.
Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Foster, you have a comment on that?
Well, I guess I think the applicant would want to know more about what that entails before committing to that. Since our impact, we're not really impacting the sort of shoreline along Big Creek. We're really, the variance here is just about parking our containers in the area that's within the 120-foot setback. So I think we would want to know more about that before the applicant would commit to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear that that was not part of the conversation that I was privy to, and where we reached an agreement that this still fit within what we were comfortable supporting for a variance. So I would certainly, be open to PB having that conversation with Big Creek separately, but that my support for this is not contingent on that. I truly believe that we've resolved the critical issues regarding the setback in that conversation, and that this is a good project to move forward with.
Okay.
And we're not saying it's not, Madam Chair, we're not saying it's not a good project, it is a good project. There was some mention of mitigation. I believe the applicants at the time said it was not possible to mitigate the area to the north, which is where Mr. Bartley was saying that you could potentially do mitigation. They said that wasn't possible and it might create more harm than good. And so he
Right.
responded to that comment basically with what he sent this morning.
Okay. All right. Okay. Does that raise any further questions or comments from the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Kukla.
there, regarding, number one, that Maria stated that the variance is not required.
Right.
The language regarding vehicle maneuvering areas shall be properly graded for drainage. I believe they still need a variance from that portion of section
Good
one,
point.
so, we should grant that section, that variance requested in number one. But I'll make a note that the 17-foot setback is being complied with.
Okay. All right.
Normally those are listed separately, that's why I didn't catch that.
So
Okay.
that raises a question for me, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I'd like to hear a little bit about the vehicle maneuvering area. I see there's a proposed concrete pavement. Is that where the vehicles will be maneuvered?
So that concrete pavement is outside of the riparian setback, and that is where the apron comes off of Valley Road. So that brings us up alongside the building. It brings us through the entrance gate and just inside the parking area, and that's where the paving stops.
Okay.
So the parking area itself is not paved as I'm seeing it. It's just the apron and to just past the entrance gate. Is that correct?
That is correct. The balance of the site is gravel.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I have a question as well for the appellant.
Yes, Ms. Roca.
I'm looking at the map here, and are you planning to park shipping containers in the riparian setback area? You might have testified to that, and I apologize if I missed it.
Yes, that's what the variance is for. So if you see the yellow line across the screen, everything above that, which would be north of that, you can see that about half of the containers that we have parked on site would be within that riparian setback.
And I think that you're still in compliance with the code in doing that. Is that correct, Mr. Rulins?
Well, that's the variance they're seeking.
Okay.
To park in the riparian setback.
I got it now. I
believe they're also constructing a small concrete strip at the end. You can see that also on the drawing. And the applicants, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's this proposed concrete dolly strip that's 4 feet wide that goes along there and that goes along there.
Correct. That's for the dolly jacks when they come down off the trailer so they don't sink into the gravel.
got it. That I had a question about that too.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm just studying this map a little bit longer. Just give me a second.
Okay.
So one more question.
Yes.
Chair, if that's okay. Can we have the project team speak to flood control, soil erosion control, whether any of that is being impacted by putting the trailers in the riparian setback?
Actually, none whatsoever. With our proposed stormwater management basin, that is what is currently not on site. So currently, the drainage for the site as it exists today just runs off the bank into the creek. So by us creating that stormwater management basin and slightly modifying the grading, which I think Maurice had already mentioned, that allows us to redirect the drainage into the water quality basin, which will then take any erosion that does occur or any runoff that does occur will go through that basin before it goes into the creek. So we're actually greatly improving the quality and quantity of flow off of the site as it exists today.
Okay, very good.
Ms. Roca, have you finished studying the map? Are you
Yes,
satisfied?
yes. And he also just addressed the stormwater management basin that I don't think he had testified to earlier, so I
Right,
appreciate that as well.
that hadn't come up before, so that's good to know. Good.
I'm good,
Alright.
thank you.
Okay, so if there are no further questions or comments, then we'll entertain a motion.
So, Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we've heard here today in calendar number 23167, I would move to approve this variance.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wilson. Could I have a second?
Madam Chair, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Rocco. Ms. Kukla, would you like to call the vote?
Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. B.
Yes.
Calendar number 23-167 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We will send you a letter, but please feel free to contact us on Wednesday for further instructions.
Very much.
Thank
Great.
you all. Appreciate you being here, Councilwoman, and we always appreciate when we have all parties that are stakeholders in a project get together and have a meeting of the minds before you come before us. So thanks very much for that.
And I particularly want to thank Maurice, who did some yeoman's lifting with our understanding of this riparian setback rule to begin with. This was sort of a new adventure, certainly for my office, but I think for others. So I want to thank him and the patience of the PB team. I think this is the right outcome, and I feel that we've done it well. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It was a learning experience for all of us, actually.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it was a good thing.
Very much. Very much so.
And you were able to get him before he retires, so that's good too.
Actually, I
Oh
wanna
my
thank-
goodness.
Yes, yes.
I would
Now
like to
that's
thank,
new.
well, go ahead.
That's news. That's news. Maurice, I'm sad to hear it for us, but happy for you.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Jared Bartley from the Cuyahoga Water Soil Conservation District. They were very, very instrumental in
Yeah.
helping us through the process, because although this ordinance is only a few years old, and as was said in the beginning, we've never actually had an adjudication on it
Right, we've
yet.
not.
And I'm not a soil person, nobody in the planning department has any experience with soil, so they were the ones that were the expert matter, the subject matter experts that were able to help us out and work with the applicants and make us realize that this wasn't as big of an impact as we were, 'cause we just weren't sure.
Right,
So it was great.
right, right. We're lucky to have them as a resource.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you very much. Good luck with the project. We'll be looking forward to seeing it come to fruition. And Councilwoman, again, good to see you. We don't get to see you very often, so appreciate you being present.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Anyone else? No other council people?
Council people. I didn't see anybody a minute ago.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Well, it sounds like Councilman Harrison's ill, so we'll move on then to 23-190.
Sounds good. I will go ahead and read the case. Our next case is calendar number 23-190. This is at 1721 Burgess Avenue. Ezra Richardson, owner, proposes to establish use as a residential facility for 5 occupants in a B12 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. Anyone here in the room for this matter? All right, anyone online ready to testify in this matter? Let me pull up the open book.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anybody here.
Do we have an appellant present for this case? We're on calendar number 23-190 at 1721 Burgess Avenue. Do we have an appellant for this case? If you're on the phone, hit *6 to unmute yourself. All right, doesn't look like it.
I don't see anybody.
All right,
We can go on to the next one, Madam Chair.
yep.
And if you can reach out and see if they're.
All right, we're gonna try and reach out to that appellant and we'll move on to calendar number 23-191.
I'm just waiting for the slides to flip so that I can
Yep.
see what I need to
Sorry.
read.
No
Just
problem.
Directing traffic.
All good. All right. Our next case is calendar number 23-191. This is at 1125 East 99th Street. Turquoise Ocean Real Estate owner proposes to establish use as a residential facility for 5 occupants in a B12 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. All right, I believe we have people in the room who are present for this matter. Is there anyone online present for this matter? Okay, I will swear in everyone who's present in the room. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? You'll raise your right hand, reply with I do, your name and your address. I'll start with you.
I do. Eugene Jones. I live at 1129 East 99th Street.
Okay, I'll go to you next.
Ms. Jose Johnson. I do. 16115 Park Road.
Okay.
I do. Danae Latrell, 1125 East. Oh, we say our home address or the address for the.
Either one's fine.
Okay, 1125 East 99th Street.
Okay. And Danila, what was your last name?
Latrell, I'm sorry, Letrell.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't get your name.
Johnson.
Johnson?
AJ.
AJ. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. That's everyone, right? Okay. History of the property, please, Ms. Kukla?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In our Records Administration Office, we found that a permit was issued in 1918 to erect a garage addition. And then, Madam Chair, in 2002, for this address, we found that there was a violation notice issued regarding condemnation. And then, Madam Chair, we see that in 2021, there was a residential building permit as well as a residential electrical permit issued to the property. There are no variances on file, and that's all that I have that's pertinent. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Is Mary still with us?
Yes. Madam Chair, members of the board, can you hear me?
Yeah, it seems better now.
Okay. Appellant is requesting a use variance and an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request would result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property such that there would be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary. Okay, who's going to be the spokesperson? Don't everybody jump at one time. You can pull yourselves up to the table too. Join the party.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what you'd like to do.
Okay, well, what we'd like to do is use the facility for a residential care facility for kids aging in foster care.
Okay. Go ahead.
Was that aging out foster children?
Yes, age
Yeah.
out of foster children. There's 23,000 kids that age out of foster care every year with no education, no foundation, no structure, no nothing. What they tend to do is put them in shelters with adult men and women. These, even though they are 18, they're still the child. So what we pose to do is put them in what we call a STEP program. We will assess them, see what their educational background is, see whether or not they want to go to college or they want to just go straight into trade, straight to. We have people coming in to help us, like from Martins Taylor and different areas of that nature to help us with their
counsel. We have a few resources to come in.
We have a
with
few,
this.
a few resources so far as their mental stability, because some, have been abused and whatnot.
Right.
We are in the process of working with various other houses in the area that's already established and organizations that's going to assist us with their care. Like I said, with their education, because a lot of them don't have high school diplomas. So we're gonna give them the GEDs or
Right.
trade, or if they choose to go to college, then that's what we're going.
Okay. So we're talking about 5 or 5?
Yes.
Okay, so 5. And this would be, what's the age range? You're gonna start at 18, right?
Some are put out of foster care at 16. So the youngest being 16, with a lot of them that are homeless right now. Some of them, once they stop taking the money for them or get what they can, they put them out. And there's a lot of them that's homeless right as we speak.
Yeah.
Sleeping underpasses, bridges, whatnot. Jane had a social security card, getting them situated so they can get on their feet, get them in school or start a skill or a trade. But we do want to give them some type of foundation, because without that, they can't really start. You don't have a permanent address, you don't have any stable ground to stand on.
Right.
You're all over the place. So
No birth certificate.
Exactly.
No
So we
social
wanna get-
card.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the oldest gonna be then? If we might have 16 as the youngest.
Right.
What might be the oldest then?
21.
Yeah.
21?
Yes.
Okay. So 16 to 21.
Madam Chair, one quick, I
Yes.
didn't hear, did you say men or women or both or?
No, we're on the one side until we get the second side, but the one side that we're dealing with, we're gonna have all of one, so all female first.
Okay.
We don't wanna mix like that.
Right.
So we wanna keep.
Right.
And the women, they have no offense, but the women have the hardest time. Probably, homeless prior. I had a chance to see firsthand, women have the hardest time, and these are young girls, so you already know, just anything you could imagine, put times 3.
Right.
So we're starting with,
The females.
Okay, so these will be young women,
Yes.
5 young women. Is this a side by side, this building?
Yeah, one side sits on North Boulevard and the other side sits on 99, as you can see in the picture.
Okay, so you're the 99th Street address
Yeah, the 1125 will be on that
is the
side.
one you're gonna start with.
Yeah, because there's someone already that moved into the address on the side is 9904, so someone was already in that side. But we just
Okay.
have the side.
Okay, all right. So, so aside from any psychological sort of issues that they might have from what they've gone through in their youth,
Right.
are there any that are gonna be disabled or having?
At this time, we're not certified for that.
Okay,
We're working on certification for that, the disabilities and what have you. So basically, like I said, we're going to, I guess you would call, if there's have some type of mental issues, I guess you could call that disabled. But physically disabled, right at this present moment, we're not certified for that.
Okay.
And this particular house is not ADA
okay,
ready.
Right, and doesn't have. a
Okay.
wheelchair.
So they won't be physically disabled, they may have some emotional
They might have
issues.
emotional, and, we already have on board various different, nurses that,
Mental illnesses.
of mental illness, and we have regular nurses that's gonna be, also on our staff.
Okay, so that brings us to the staffing question.
Yes,
How are you going to staff?
yeah, it will be 24 hours.
Okay. So 3 8-hour shifts then? Is
Yes.
that what you're doing? 24-hour, 3 8-hour shifts. And will the nurses, should they need any medication, will the nurses be dispensing that? Or are the women expected to be able to handle their own medication?
No, the nurses will, their pills come in a package with their name and
Mhm.
everything on it. So once the meal is passed, because a lot of them may take meds and they have to have some type of meal.
Right.
So the care person at that time will, administer or, place it for them because we're not allowed to give. And I am a nurse as well, but we're not able to, put it in their mouth. We can set it down
Right.
for them and they can, the only thing we do is make sure they take it. If they don't, we document their refuse.
Right, so there'll be like a pre-packed pill pack.
Yes,
That
correct,
come in a
yes.
little,
With their name and everything.
yeah.
The nurses that we're hiring are able to pass meds, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you have relationship with Murtis Taylor and
Yes.
some
Yes.
other places, so you'll be providing transportation for
Yes.
them? Okay, and obviously meals.
Yes,
And how many people to a room then?
One.
One person to a
Yes.
bedroom, okay. And none of them will have children,
no.
so,
So we're gonna have to do a separate house for if they do have kids. 'cause
okay,
You don't wanna mix them, especially, you wanna have something separate so that way you can have them where there enough adequate space if they do have it.
Right. it opens up a different need,
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yes.
doesn't it? Yeah,
But we are affiliated with other houses that, take in young ladies
With
that have children. So
okay,
we won't exactly like turn them away.
Yeah, cause we can.
We are affiliated with, what's in Sheila's house? It's right now.
Yeah, but we can.
Anyway, we're affiliated with different houses that deal with, women, with, the young adults with kids.
mhm,
So
So
we
we
can
won't,
refer them. Yeah.
they will not be like just totally, turned away or whatnot.
okay. All right, excellent. All right, board, any questions?
Madam Chair, I'd be curious to know if there are other residential facilities located in this area.
Excellent question.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, Madam Chair, it appears that there's a double, and you can see them, the two little houses to the northwest of the location, so it's right down the street, basically.
right,
And I could not find any additional information out about those.
Oh, can I-
So as far as I know, it's a double.
Now, you said down the street?
They're
It's-
actually around, yeah.
It's 9813 and 9815 North Boulevard.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how come we are here, that's,
Fred,
Fred's house.
yeah, we
That's
reached,
Fred's, we reached out to him, we talked to him. We don't know if he's up and running or not. That's how come we're here.
That's the main reason why you're here, yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
have reached and linked
We
with
talked
him.
to him. Matter of fact, he's one of the resources that we're going to be using to educate our, he has a facility down on,
105.
105, a center, I should say, that, educates kids and whatnot.
So we'll be actually networking together. We have spoke with him. He's also on our list of signatures. So we reached out
Okay.
and we'll be working together.
What will his clientele be on North Boulevard, do you know?
Oh, I'm not sure about North Boulevard, but he has his main office on 105.
Uh-huh.
So some of our kids will be working or
We
doing
don't- we're not
internships, so
sure.
we're working together to get some things
So he
together
wants to know
since
what
we're
his-
in the
what his
area.
people know
Oh,
what
as
his
far as the house, we don't know what's.
You don't know
going
what
on.
he's doing in there yet? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any information on that.
No,
one. I just know that
he's doing, at this present time, I don't think anyone is actually in his house. He's doing some,
I know he's doing some renovations, but I'm not.
he's doing renovations to it.
So he's still in renovation stage.
Yeah, he's renovating.
It would, because if he's on our map, it means that he has a license from the state.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what we get. So we don't know if it's active or not. We
Right.
just know that somebody has gotten a license for that particular address.
Yeah.
And it brings us to our question that we so often get. is
Right,
we
right.
don't
And I
know-
couldn't find any
Yeah, we don't
information
know.
out.
Is, not his house, but from my understanding, was speaking with him, he is doing, men. But, say, from speaking with him lately, he's doing renovations, so I don't think anyone's actually in his house.
Yeah, but he's got
license.
Yeah.
But he's doing.
Yeah, he wouldn't, yeah, as Mr. Rowland said, he wouldn't be flagged if he didn't have the license.
right.
So whether or not he's got it occupied or not is another story. Did you speak with other neighbors in your
Yes.
area?
Yes.
Okay. And are you a neighbor, sir?
I am not, I haven't spoken to anybody. This is the first I heard.
Okay. This is the second you've heard of it. Okay. All right.
Eugene Jones. I live at 1129.
Did we receive?
Yeah, I'm a retired police officer.
We talked, you forgot us?
I have, because it's been so long, and then, like I said, I haven't, there's been a fire, were you aware that there was a fire on the property? There was a fire?
I know
Like the first of the year?
No, I know we had talked to you and you had signed our form. I know we
Yeah, I
had
did,
talked to you.
I did, but I didn't know.
They did the renovations. to the
Yeah,
house.
so we didn't know anything about a fire, but since it's been renovated.
Because I've been trying, I was told that somebody resided there.
Yeah,
I haven't.
a young lady just moved.
Yeah, she doesn't have anything to do with us,
Okay.
but she's on the same side as you.
Okay. Okay, so she's
Yeah,
she's
she's right.
here,
She's
Where
right
the
there,
black
where
cars.
that
and then
van
you're
is.
gonna be on the 9904 side.
We're on 99, we're on 99th Street.
Yeah, so you may see her where the black van is right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's on that side.
but people tend to avoid
The
me.
top,
People tend to avoid me.
really?
Yeah.
See, we're on
Yeah, we
we're on
have.
the top, the picture right there, the
Okay.
top left,
Okay,
that's the side we're on. The bottom left, that's where the young lady is residing.
okay.
Yeah, so she's already in there. We haven't,
So that's where the fire was.
oh yeah, we didn't know
We
anything.
didn't know about the fire.
anything but
Okay.
Evidently is,
Well, yeah, they renovated since then.
Did you do like a petition then with the
Yeah, we had
neighbors?
came and talked, yeah, his name is on our list. We came and talked to him.
Okay.
But he didn't mention.
Did you submit that, the petition
Yes.
to us?
Yes.
Do we have that list?
I don't have a copy of it, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't in the file. I mean, I've seen it.
All right, we're gonna want a copy of that, ladies.
Can you tell me who it would have come from?
Miss Amani,
That's the last name.
pardon me,
That's her first name.
Miss Amani, Goff.
This
Here's
is
the,
it right here.
here's, the original.
But it was
Yeah.
emailed to her. so.
Yes,
We can,
that's the original.
yeah, if you don't mind, we'll just
I'm
get a
just getting
copy
my
of it.
Yeah, but Miss Monty Goff, yes, we spoke with her. She told us that we needed to get the signatures and whatnot, and we spoke.
Reach out to the councilman.
We went canvassed the basic surrounding area, and we talked to various different, as a matter of fact, some of the residents are agreeing to be mentors because some of the residents are foster, wasn't a foster system.
So we invited them to come down to assist.
Then we have a young lady that lives cat a corner on,
Right there, the brown house in the corner,
no,
She does
cat a
personal
corner
care. on the next street over.
on the next street over.
Yeah,
Okay.
She has a,
personal care.
she does, little chick on the top.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
CPR and
She's
the
gonna,
personal-
teach CPR, whatnot, because she does, home healthcare.
He does home health
Yeah,
care,
she has a
okay,
home healthcare agency.
all right. Well, that's good, because that's a good resource for you.
Yeah, and,
So let me go to you, sir, and, cause you're here, you showed up and, you're a neighbor, so do you have any comment you wanna make on this?
My only concern is, you know, there's a, I don't know if you're aware, there's like a nurse, I don't know if it's another school, it's like a school. It's probably, you know what I'm talking about down on 99th, where I see it's a group of small children, I don't know the exact address.
It's at,
Daycare.
It's
Going all the way down.
daycare, yeah, you know,
Daycare.
so you're aware of the daycare.
Oh,
Down a lot closer to security.
No, it's
closer to St. Clair.
just, it's going,
towards St. Clair.
it's going north on 99th Street, it's on the. Just on the opposite side of the street, and if you go, if they were to, if that,
Going towards St. Clair.
no, it's going down 99th Street, and it's like, yeah, no. It's going towards, it's going towards St. Clair, you're right, and then, cause I always see a group of kids.
Yeah, we saw some
Yep.
kids when we were out.
Okay, so that's my biggest concern, you know, the children in the area. I got teenagers.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. 'cause
You
know
have
that
teenagers in your house?
I'm a youth minister,
Right.
basketball coach, athletic director, so I got kids around me. And sometimes I bring them to my home and they're first grade, first graders on up, because I do basketball, Bible study. You know, I reward them by letting me cook for them, coming to my home. So I have children around me all the time, and then having worked part-time in Collinwood for 20 years, as an off-duty, as a police officer, you know, I'm always aware of their safety, because if you're familiar with our area, that I have to call the district and beg for them to set up radar or something to stop all those cars that come flying through there at 67, 80, 90 miles.
What district are you in there?
It's the 5th district. It used
Fifth.
to be the 6th district, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's my only concern. I don't, that's my biggest concern.
Well, so they're looking to start with 5 young women, 16 to 21. So,
And what about, you said they've got nurses and professional people on duty. What about security?
So I got a question.
yeah.
So, exactly, tell me what your concern is?
I mean,
Hold on.
I'm a grandfather.
I'm a grandmother.
Okay.
We do have to direct the conversation through the chair.
Right,
Oh,
right.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was giving you a little latitude, but Ms. Kukla is reining things in, so,
Yes.
yeah, just,
Okay, so, I'm a grandmother. I have kids. She has teenagers. Matter of fact, I got girls, primarily all girls. So, I've been homeless for almost 4 years. Okay, I drive RTA. I have there's 3 different kids that gets on my bus almost every day.
are you driving fixed route or what are you driving
I
for our
drive a fixed route.
fixed route?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the route I drive, they get on my bus every day. These kids I watched them age out of foster care. Okay, I watched them. They on the street. They put the 2 boys, they put them in a shelter. Okay, now say with grown peoples.
Yeah.
Now the one boy, he was okay until they did that. The girl, okay, now he talking about security. No offense, what I'm fixing to say, I'm saying this, we don't have no we're not housing, and we're not housing inmates. These are kids. Okay,
Right.
they are
But
subject.
you're probably gonna put some cameras up, right?
Oh,
Just,
yeah, we got cameras.
just so, for people that might come into your property.
Into our property, right? But he's worrying about that, and I ain't mad at him, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has the wrong perception of, they call it, that's how come they changed it from saying group home, because it's a negative term, to RCF. Residential care facility.
They're
Okay.
human beings.
These are human beings, these are young human beings that need help. Okay, like he's helping the community his way, this is our way of helping the community.
Right.
So far as, security, yes, we're gonna have cameras all around and whatnot. We have house rules, I didn't bring it with me, yeah. House rules, okay, you have to have to follow the house rules. If not, then there will be repercussions for not following the house rules. Okay, I understand dealing with teenagers. Okay, I was a teenager once. I have teenage granddaughters, 3 of them. So I already know what to expect. What's up? I have my sister-in-law, she's been dealing with foster children and young adults for the past 10 years. So she's gonna be part of our mentoring us and helping us with the kids that the stuff that we don't know.
Mhm.
We have in place education for them, not only for them, but for ourselves.
Okay, good.
So to know what we should and should not do, and what we have to do. So far as safety concerned, well, I'm more worried about somebody trying to do something and come over where we at.
Right,
So
but
I'm putting
I think
cameras
that was your probably concern about the,
Can I reciprocate? I have experience working at residential care facilities. I worked at Farmerdale, I worked at George Junior Republic of Grove City, Pennsylvania. I haven't objected to anything. I'm just addressing
Right.
quite naturally, I would have to address safety concerns, okay?
Mhm.
That's my job.
Right.
That's my job.
that's your field.
Yep, that's
Right,
what
exactly.
that's what, I'm a professional. I'm
Right.
actually a
We want to
professional,
look towards
a highly trained professional.
Yeah.
We all
So,
just been over
folks,
the
let me open it up. Let me see if, because usually we like to have all this discussion happen before we come here.
Oh,
So,
and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just had one question, and maybe
Yeah.
it was already mentioned. Was it gonna be staffed 24/7? I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did say 24-hour
Yes.
staff,
Okay,
and like
I
I
missed
stated,
that.
we're all professional. I am a
Okay.
nurse as well, working in the psych unit as well as nursing home, as well as group homes. So we're all professional here, and we all want the right thing. We all want the same thing, as to assist and to give and to be there and to assist and be helped. You don't want to turn your back and keep turning your back. It's a need, and that's why we're here.
let me open it up to my board and see if any of my board have questions or comments.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. To the appellants, can you share a little bit more about your experience running a residential care facility? Do you own and manage any other facilities?
As far as any other facilities, we have one on Strathmore, but it's under renovation as we speak. As far as running a residential, no. Have I worked in plenty? Yes, I've been doing nursing since '96.
I've been
Thank
in,
you.
And I work with the city now, but I've experienced and been around a lot of homelessness, homeless people, assisting. I also was a driver with RTA, so we used to let them get on the bus to get out of the elements. Just talking to them and being around and working in the facility myself with group homes, I just know the need for them out here. They're everywhere. They're in Windermere, they're downtown, they're under bridges, they're sleeping in the basement. They're everywhere. It's a need for it, and somebody's gotta help. Well, this is our part, that's why we're here.
Thank you.
we have.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Holzer?
It does.
Okay. Ms.
Thank
Roca, you have anything?
I do, yes, thank you, Madam Chair. My question relates to the history that we heard of the property. Ms. Kukla mentioned that there was a condemnation on this property, and then I've heard some testimony, though not very much, about renovations of the property. So I'd like to hear from the appellant on, my first question is, do you own the property or are you leasing the property? Number one. Number two, can you testify to the renovations that have occurred since the condemnation, and the status of the interior of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
You want me to show you the picture? I have it in my phone, but it has been fully written.
So number one, do you own or you're gonna lease?
We're leasing.
We're leasing.
Yes.
And number two, what have you done with the renovation so far?
It's fully renovated.
It was renovated before we came along, so the stuff has been done. I can show you from my phone, or if you wanna pull up pictures on Zillow. But if not, I can show you pictures, but
Okay.
we had nothing to do with the renovations, it was already complete.
Do you want pictures
Okay, that
for
was
the
my
file,
main
Liz?
question is,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that was my main question is that, you know, if you don't own the property and you lease it, did your landlord, you know, attend to those renovations? Have they been completed? Is it fully habitable and in the, you know, good enough condition to house people, these 5 residents that you plan to house there? And then I also had a question. I don't know that we flipped through quickly, Maurice, on the map. And I know each resident has their own bedroom, but did we hear about the, you know, bathroom facilities? Is there a shared bathroom, shared kitchen? I just want more information about the property itself.
Sure.
Okay.
I think we had, Maurice is looking up something right now, but I think did we have floor plan?
Yeah, I mean, I just was looking through the pictures. They had said,
Yeah,
Yeah, there's 3 full bathrooms on each floor, and that's 3. It's about on each level. The shared kitchen, we will be
Okay.
providing meals when we go to the kitchen.
sit down and then repeat that, so we make sure that the court reporter picks it up on the mic. So 3 full bathrooms
Yes.
and all the bedrooms on the second floor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all the bedrooms are on the second floor. There's 3 full bathrooms. Yes, it'll be a shared kitchen basically. Each person will have an individual, this house right here. Each individual where it has been, she has.
It's not, but it's in back.
It's in back. Yeah, she wanted, the one
Okay.
lady wanted to see, yeah, those
All
are
right.
pictures to the house that, we will be living in. Yes, it's leased, we have the,
What's the term of the lease? How long is the lease?
It's yearly.
Yearly?
Yes.
Okay.
we have signed affidavit from the, owner.
And we turned that over
We turned that, yeah, that,
We got that too?
Yes.
Okay.
he's-
So we have an affidavit from the building owner
from the
on
building.
file.
If he knows that what we're planning on doing, he makes sure every day, when he's hands-on, basically, like making sure the house is together and everything. What do you need, whatnot? Is everything okay for you guys? Like, we're good. He spoke on the fire that was there. No, we were not aware of that part, but they did all the renovations. It's up to code. Everything is up to code. And
Okay. We have 22 signatures on a petition, ladies.
Thank you. And then, and thank you for testifying to all those details. I appreciate it. And I'm just gonna get straight in my head that, once we grant this variance, that belongs to the owner. And so he has consented to this and provided an affidavit in support.
Right, we
Yes.
have that, right, Liz?
Yes, the authorization form states that he authorizes the appellant to act as his agent in submitting the application, and in the presentation of his calendar number.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else,
Madam-
ladies?
I do have another question. Just so
Yes.
I'm clear, the group, I apologize, the residential care facility is only operating on, it's a duplex, so it's only operating in half of the building?
Yes.
Correct.
And,
So-
sorry, go
So
ahead.
that, yeah, the half of the building that we're addressing is the address that's on the case number.
And if they were to expand and use the other half of the building, and see additional clients, they would need to come back because it would increase the number of individuals served at the property.
Yeah, that,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we asked about that. And they told us yes.
okay, all right. So that's a yes. So they'd have to come back because that would expand their number of residents to the next category. Anything, Ms. Wilson? No?
Chair, thank you.
All right. Anything else? Okay. City
He has a
planning, you
question.
wanna, oh,
He has a
yeah, oh, yes, sir.
Who's the owner? It's changed hands. I don't know.
Turquoise Ocean Real Estate LLC.
It's a real estate company.
Yes. It was at the top, but if you need the name, you can, they can.
Yeah.
provide that.
All right.
Okay. City planning?
One question, I did notice that you mentioned, about talking to Councilman Conwell,
Yes.
and he was, do you have a letter of support or anything from the
Yeah,
councilman?
that's what we were in talks with him and Imani, so they, as we were told that it would be in, but he was gonna try to be here, but he had another meeting at the same time. So we were upstairs, I'm sorry, downstairs, yeah, in his office, but she said he wasn't in yet, but we were in talks with him and was told that he would be calling in, but yes.
Did we get any correspondence from the councilman's office?
I didn't have anything this morning before the hearing yet.
Okay, all right. So
And
nothing
then,
is yet.
and then I guess the other question was, I'm sure you talked to the woman on the other side,
Yes,
and she was
Oh,
in
yes.
support, okay.
yes.
Yeah, I would recommend approval. If they provide the letter from, Councilman Conwell, we like to generally
Right.
get the councilman and the neighbors' support. They submitted a petition with 22 signatures, and I will say, as we see a lot of these.
Right.
And
Yes.
we recognize there's a tremendous need for this, and we've approved others throughout the city. We just want to make sure that the surrounding neighborhood is okay with the use, because it is a business in a residential area,
Yes.
and so that's what we're always looking to make sure that people aren't, objecting to a use right next door to them. And it sounds like you've covered all your bases. You come off very well, like you've really done your research, you really know what you're talking about, and so that gives me a lot of confidence too. We also have to it's also our job to weed out people that may not be the best operators, and I don't get that from either of the two of you ladies at all. So yeah, I would recommend support.
Thank you. So that would be a condition, is that we would need to receive, some correspondence from the councilman's office. Oftentimes they just email Ms. Kukla,
Okay,
so that would be fine. We prefer something in writing as to a phone call,
okay, no problem.
so,
Yeah, 'cause we're gonna
because it
go
will
back
go
now.
in the file, because what we passed today is attached to that property. So, we need to have that in the record.
Okay.
And I would say, from my standpoint, I'm in agreement with Mr. Rulins in terms of, we see a lot of these. And, the people that are looking to, manage the facilities,
Right.
they vary in their level of, professionalism. And to my mind, the fact that you said you had worked for RTA, you clearly are in your uniform for
I
RTA.
gotta go to work as soon as I leave here.
Yeah, and
What's the running rate?
having some familiarity with the management of RTA, it speaks highly to me that if RTA hired you, that speaks well to your character. So, that's just my comment on that. So, if there are no further, questions or comments, board, I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we've heard today, I move that we approve calendar number 23-191, a residential facility for up to 5 residents, ages 16 to 21, all female with 24-hour staffing, 3 8-hour shifts for staff, and under the condition that we receive communication from the councilman's office regarding this property.
Could I have a second, please?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. Ms. Kugler, would you like to call the roll, please?
Sure. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Brokaw?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Item number 23-191 is granted conditionally. We will hold ratification until we receive that letter from Councilman Conwell. Once we receive that letter, we will ratify it the following.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, good luck.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
They're gonna hit over the ridge now.
And Mr. Jones, thank you for coming down.
Look, and we thank you, we'll be seeing you.
Yeah, maybe you have another, maybe you have
Yeah.
another resource right next door.
I think
Bible
so.
study, whatever.
Talking about this when we met, we
Yeah.
told them we was gonna get this help.
Exactly.
A natural resource.
And I would encourage you to try and see if you can interest any of the young women in any of the construction trades.
Oh, yes, we have, Ms.
Cause
Wilson.
I'm a member of ABC, Associate Builders and Contractors. Yeah, we're gonna be doing
So
that,
we,
yeah.
been in
I'm
contact with
competent by trade.
with Amico Foundation and Shanna Roberts over at, Multipurpose Center.
Good.
So she, gave us a magnet program, ITT, culinary construction classes. So we have a lot of stuff lined up, and as far as the resources, I have a few friends that's a branch manager. So we have them coming in, teaching them about finance, balancing the checkbook, opening and checking in the savings, and teaching them about our credit, because we weren't taught that in school.
Right.
And once they do get a job, start having money coming in, they need to know how to care and how to budget, what to do. And in each workshop that we have for them, we'll put money in for checking and savings, just to get them situated, because we do have a STEP program. And the next step is becoming self-sufficient. And we're already in talks with other people that have apartment buildings. So they can move out and get them an apartment. But we're not gonna just put them in there and leave them. We're gonna be with them continuously to make sure, because everybody falls back or an issue may come up and something. We don't wanna just, okay, you're done. They already been through that process.
Excellent.
So-
Great. Well, thank you. Good luck to you.
Look, we told them we was gonna be on the tour.
All right.
Yeah, but we talked to them when we met, so I do understand your concern, so we with you. Well, you ain't gonna get rid of us now.
We're gonna move on, okay?
Thank you. Good luck.
Having a little social hour here at Boza. We're gonna loop back to calendar number 23-190. Do we have an appellant for that case?
Madam Chair, we were able to get a hold of her. She's requesting a postponement.
Okay, we have a postponement request for that case since we've reached the appellant. What date do we have for that?
January 8th.
All right. So calendar number 23-190 is postponed at the request of the appellant to January 8th. And I believe that concludes everything we have for today. All right. So moving on to old business. We have number 1, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excuse me, without objection, board?
I believe we're holding ratification on number 1, is that correct?
Liz just was chiming in.
Yes,
Oh.
it seemed that we had some further discussion about the placement of the planters on the site plans.
Oh,
Maurice and I, and possibly the applicant, will meet and sort that out.
okay.
So, Madam
All
Chair, they
right.
had,
I thought the CDC was, or the councilman's assistant.
bye-bye.
Bye. I thought the councilman's assistant was working with them on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's escaping me right now. We can loop that person.
Yeah,
in.
because she was here and said that she was gonna be point person.
Okay. Yeah, we'll reach out. Well, we did receive that updated drawing.
Right.
So those were their suggestions on how to meet
Okay.
the requirements that the
All
board
right.
put out there.
Well, let's touch base, let's touch base with council's assistant, since she was with us and said she would be point person. All right, so one is on hold then. That's what the tilde means. So we'll go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 then. Without objection?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Thank you, everyone. All right. So we next meet on December 4th.
Oh, Madam Chair, we do have an affirmation.
Oh, we have an affirmation, excuse me.
That's calendar number BZA 23104. at 3119 Train Avenue. Race Properties LLC was granted variances to construct a mixed-use development on July 10th of this year. The appellant is still working on the full construction drawings. It's taking a little longer than expected.
Okay. So, do we have any objections to that?
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay. All right, so we'll give them more time. How much time do
Okay.
they need, did they say?
The affirmation is 6 months.
Okay. So, 6 months. All right, anything else?
That is it for old business.
Okay, great. On to December 4th. Is anyone need to be absent that day?
Nope. Not
Okay.
me.
Anyone foreseeing recusals?
Not currently, but I will double check.
Okay. Looks like
Yeah,
we've got 3 for Councilman McCormick, so just make sure we don't have any recusals. And I guess that's it. Everyone have a good Thanksgiving?
We did, yes. Hope
So-
you all did as well.
Travel was good?
Travel was good. Got in last night, so.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks for being with us. And so I guess that's all we have for today. Anybody have anything else? No? All right.
To adjourn.
All right, thank you then. We are
Thank you.
Everybody.
adjourned.